Welcome back. Let's talk elections now on the continent. Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has won the highly contested presidential election. The country's electoral commission said that Mr Museveni won 61% of the votes. Opposition leader Kizza Besigye, who was awarded 35%, described the election as a sham and has called on the international community to reject the result. Joining us now from Kampala, Uganda, is our SABC correspondent, Julius Mugwamba. Good morning, Julius. Thanks very much for being with us. So we see the main opposition leader, Kizza Besigye, has been placed under house arrest. Talk to us about the latest regarding this.
Yes, the police is still surrounding the home of Dr. Kizza Besigye, the main opposition leader who came second according to the results that were announced by the country's electoral body. Yesterday, Dr. Kizza Besigye had a chance to address the press, where he called upon Ugandans to join him to march to the country's electoral body offices. Now, Dr. Kizza Besigye wants to go to the country's electoral body to pick declaration forms. These declaration forms, I think Dr. Kizza Besigye wants to display them to the Ugandans, to tell them that the election was not free and fair and that the Forum for Democratic Change, that is his party, is not accepting the results that were announced.
So he's not, and we went on to say that in the introduction he's going to call on the international community to intervene. I mean, what are the chances that they will, and how much influence would they have?
What Dr. Besigye wants the rest of the world to know, and also Ugandans, is that the election was not free and fair. I think he's also banking on what the European Union observers and several other observers talked about, that the election was not free and fair. And by him calling upon the international community not to recognize the election, he wants an independent audit. But we're not sure if this independent audit will ever happen.
How have the other opposition parties received the outcome of the elections?
I will talk about John Patrick Amama, who is the former Prime Minister. He came third in the election and he had widely been seen as a major contender. He got less than 2% of the votes and is one of those people who came up to say that the election was conducted in an environment which was not free and fair. So he joins Dr. Besigye in rejecting the results. So we have Dr. Besigye who came second, and then Amama was already saying that they are not accepting the results that were announced by the country's electoral body. But already the country's President Yoweri Museveni came up and said, okay, these people have got to accept the results. It's a genuine win and they should accept this.
Oh, it's going to be a very, very interesting a process from here on. But according to Museveni, he won, as you say. I mean, it was he's declared himself, you know, the winner. He is now the president. And in terms of inauguration, has a date been announced?
Sorry, I didn't get that very clearly, but to give you a picture of probably what's on ground is that in Kampala now business is back to normal, and talking about the post-election environment here, people are back to their businesses, but the main talk in town is about the elections. People are referring now to what their leaders are subscribing to. People in support of President Yoweri Museveni are in full support, and they know that they have a legitimate win. And the opposition is not yet to accept this.
Yeah. I mean, I did ask you about any plans for an inauguration, but let's speak about that first. Inauguration, has this been announced as yet?
It is supposed to come up sometime around May.
All right, so it's going to go ahead. But in terms of outside observers, and with all of this happening, that opposition parties are calling this a foul election, has the election actually been declared free and fair by the country's electoral commission?
The country's electoral commission has already said that they conducted one of their best elections ever. It was free and fair, and they've called upon all players to accept the results that were announced. They stick to what they announced, and they believe that is genuine, and they are calling up Ugandans also to believe that. But the opposition will never accept this, because in the first place, the main opposition party, Forum for Democratic Change, said they've never had confidence in the country's electoral body, the administration of the electoral body, including the chairman and a number of his secretaries. So before even they went into the election, they didn't have confidence in the country's electoral body. So they also add to what the European Union observers said, that the elections were conducted in an environment which was full of intimidation. But the Electoral Commission dismisses this, says the election was free and fair.
What was it like over the weekend? I mean, we obviously hearing reports coming in, but in terms of any unrest, any violence that came through during the elections?
There was violence before the elections. Actually, this happened at a time when the main opposition leader, Dr. Kizza Besigye, was involved in a scuffle with police when police stopped him from accessing the central business district. Besigye was arrested, and there was firing of tear gas when police was trying to disperse his supporters. And eventually, one person died. The only time we saw some chaos during the elections is when there was some people were not happy with the massive delays. The Electoral Commission delayed in delivering voting material in some polling stations, and some people got angry, and police had to fire tear gas in some polling stations to disperse them. But since then, we've not seen really major incidences of violence on the streets, especially in the capital, Kampala.
We're seeing the international reaction coming through now to the election results, and just one reaction obviously coming through from Washington. To quote them, they're saying that they noted a series of troubling irregularities in Uganda's presidential and parliamentary elections, and said that the Ugandan people deserve better. So there seems to be also opinions coming from overseas that these elections were rigged.
Yes, the United States State Department released a statement and mentioned a number of issues, including also the blocking of social media. But now the government of Uganda, I think, has reacted to some of them, because as we speak now, social media is back on. People can Facebook, people can tweet and WhatsApp. You might recall during the elections, government switched off social media sites. People could not do that, and also exchange of money on mobile platforms couldn't go ahead. But as we speak now, people can now exchange money on mobile platforms. They can go back to social media and use it the way they want. But again, on the other side, we've seen a congratulatory message coming in from the Russian government. Local newspaper here carried a story saying that Russia has already congratulated President Yoweri Museveni upon winning this election. So it's a mixed reaction now. We have strong issues, strong condemnation coming in from the United States. And then on the other side, Russia is saying, okay, congratulations, Mr. Museveni. And also in the region, President Uhuru Kenyatta in Kenya was the first person to congratulate President Yoweri Museveni. And followed by President Nkurunziza, who is in Burundi. I know he's had also his own issues in his country concerning post-election violence. But he went to Twitter on a Twitter handle believed to be run by him, a verified account. Mr. Nkurunziza congratulated also President Museveni upon this win.
All right, let's leave it there for this morning. So, as you can see, those were the elections in Uganda, and just so many of the people criticizing how these elections were actually carried off, whether it be the blocking of social media or the intimidation of police and the harassment of police. These are some of the reports that are coming through. But Julius Mugumba, who is our correspondent in Uganda, reporting on those elections for us.